A few months ago, I decided to start studying again in order to retake my high school exams so I could apply to a university and study psychology. If you are familiar with my channel, you probably know that when I finished high school, I studied media arts for a few months and then I dropped out and took a gap year, and right now I'm actually in my second gap year. So as I said, I decided to retake my exams, and I never really did that well in school to begin with, and it's been about 2 years since I've learned any academic material, and my exams are in 2 months. Because of this, I started to look into ways I could organize my days to maximize productivity and to not only pass my exams, but to also keep creating content for you guys and to fit in leisure activities. This led me to discover that organizing your days is not just about work, it's about giving your life more quality and order. This is how I organize my life. Let's start with the most important thing, and that is to create a schedule. I started to plan my days just a few months ago, and I already see myself doing this for the rest of my life. In the past, I used a to-do list, which I think is a great productivity tool, but it kind of gives you this sense to push the tasks away towards the end of the day, essentially to just procrastinate until the last minute. But with my new full-on schedule, it's much more difficult to procrastinate, although I still sometimes do. So every evening I plan my next day and I organize everything in Google Calendar. I think it's the best platform for scheduling because it's very minimalistic, easy to use, and also cross-platform. You can edit something on your phone and that change appears on your PC. So here's how I use this. I think it's very important to plan not only your work but also your rest periods, and as you can see here, I start my day off by waking up at 8 in the morning and having that whole hour to myself. Then I go to study math, usually for 2 to 3 hours, and I'll explain why this varies later. Then I have a break. I go over to study Lithuanian language for a few hours, which is just studying literature for my essay part of the exam. Then again, another break, and I finish the workday by doing something for YouTube. Usually I manage just an hour because by that time I'm just spent from all of that focus and thinking, and I just want to rest. At the end of the day, I have my night routine, which is just a way to remind myself that I shouldn't stay past 12 and go to sleep. That's pretty much it. Now, I mentioned how there is a little variation in how much I study for each given program. So if I finish, let's say, the task of the day for math, and by the way, I've written the tasks up here, then I put a check mark in between these parentheses and I change the end time of the task. Yeah, it's kind of a to-do list, but what separates this is that I know the exact time I need to sit down and start doing the task, and even if I don't finish it, I at least put in the hours and learn from the process, and I try to finish the task another day. Of course, I don't always strictly follow the schedule, and what I mean by that is, well, let's say I just want another hour to rest, so I just take away 1 hour from this here section, from this here rest section, and I can push the task further. It's procrastination, and I advise you to follow your schedule as best as you can, but there will be times when you get defeated, so use this as the last resort, because at the end of the day, you will still need to finish this task, and you lose only if you push the task for another day. If you haven't created a schedule, I highly recommend creating one today, and I promise you that if you follow that routine, even for a week, you will see how much more productive and organized your life becomes. Of course, this won't work if you are always distracted and don't have your physical environment organized as well. Jordan Peterson is right. If you keep your environment clean, you will keep your mind clean. You can't focus if you live in a mess, and taking care of your room every day may be the easiest thing you can do to bring more organization and order in your life. You might think that it's really hard to clean your room every day, but there is a solution that might reduce your time spent cleaning. Minimalism. Minimalism was one of my gateways into this whole self-improvement journey, but I'm not gonna sit here and just preach about it, even though it helped to get my life in order quite a bit. I just want to give you an idea to maybe consider it, because you will pretty much have your room always clean, and you just need to clean the dust from time to time, as you just don't have your clothes and your stuff laying around all over the place. If you don't want to make a commitment to live with less, it's perfectly fine, but just make a commitment to live in a clean environment. Let's say you created a schedule and cleaned your room. That's great. You look at your plan and, oh, right now you should be sitting down to write the paper for your class. So you sit down, begin working, finish everything according to your daily plan, turn it in, and this is your teacher's reaction.
Oh my God, the words are wrong, the phrases are wrong, the sentences are wrong, they're not ordered right in the paragraphs aren't coherent, and the whole thing makes no sense.
Why did this happen? because you were constantly checking your phone, listening to music, or taking excessive amounts of coffee breaks, which minimized your ability to fully concentrate and perform your best work. Okay, maybe you didn't do these things, which is great, but for many people nowadays, distraction is a big problem. That's why in order to start organizing your life, more specifically your work, you should look into the idea of deep work. Cal Newport, in his book Deep Work, separates the type of work we do into two categories: shallow work and deep work. The former are non-cognitively demanding logistical style tasks often performed while distracted, while the latter, professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push cognitive abilities to their limit. Newport describes that deep workers will thrive in a new economy called the Great Restructuring, where technology is going to replace many of the low-skilled work positions, and the ability to go deep, that is to learn a lot of information in a limited time period, will become increasingly valuable. Even if you don't believe that this type of future will come, it's still worth looking into how you can maximize your efficiency at your selected area of work. When you just sit down and get into that flow state without any distractions, that's when you produce at your best. But if you always distract yourself with something else, then you only stress your brain and become unorganized, which results in shallow work. But what is the biggest distraction in today's world? Your phone. This might be the second best thing after creating a schedule that will improve not only your work but your whole life: putting your phone away. This helped me enormously to bring more order into my life. Nowadays, I have my phone turned off or in silent mode, where I only hear call notifications from my closest family members in case of an emergency, and I deleted pretty much all social media apps except from Facebook Messenger, which allows me to contact my teacher and trainer, and I occasionally install Instagram so I can upload a post for my YouTube channel whenever I upload a video or something. Also, I keep my phone in black and white, which makes the experience of using the phone more like a tool and less like an entertainment device. You can Google on how to do this for your specific phone. Recently, I implemented a new rule: no entertainment technology until 6 p.m. or until I finish all the tasks of the day. So I am allowed to use my computer and phone as long as it is work and studying related until about 6 p.m. and after that I am allowed to watch YouTube, movies, whatever. This just brings so much calmness into my life, and it allows me to expand my concentration by being exposed to boredom, which is a good thing in this always distracted world. I can go on about the benefits of limiting phone usage, but we should probably go into the last tip for organizing your life, and that is to use a journal. I have this here improvement journal that pretty much just allows me to keep track of all the habits in my life, and most importantly, the amount of hours I work each day. And I guess I'm just going to quickly go over how I journal. The night before, similarly to the schedule, I write everything you see here with days and squares indicating if I complete the habit or fail. When I am done with my workday, which is usually about 6 p.m. every day, I calculate and write down the amount of hours I worked, and during the day I check the habit boxes for completion. So let's say I complete the cold shower, I check it. I read 20 pages of a book per day, I check it. This type of journaling motivates me to keep going on my habits and make sure I don't forget them, because my journal is always open and in the open, where I can see it easily and check throughout the day. I recommend using this journaling method, as then you can compare your results throughout the months and see how much you improve. Anyways, I think this video was long enough, and hopefully it was informative and useful in order to organize your life better. And if it was, please leave a like and subscribe for more weekly self-improvement content. Comment down below what strategies and habits do you use in your everyday life. If you want to support me and this channel, you can do that by donating to my Patreon and PayPal, and all the links are going to be in the description down below. Also with my Instagram, and all the help is really appreciated. Thank you guys for watching this video, and stay on your journey.